Join the revolution now. Step into mastery at therevenueronin.com.
All right, welcome, my friends. Welcome to the Startup Circle. Today's Friday. Happy Friday. We're in the Startup Circle community today, founded by Kevin. We have him on stage as a co-host today. So welcome, Kevin. Great to have you aboard. Hope you're feeling better. But yeah, before I get to Kevin, I just want to do a quick intro for everyone. So if you're not a member of the Startup Circle, please make sure you join the Startup Circle community. We're up to 7,400 members in the Startup Circle, which is amazing. And if you're interested in personal development, branding, building your business, building your personal brand, making revenue, then you're in the right place. So we cover the inner game, the outer game, copywriting, ghostwriting, consulting, a lot of different areas of expertise. So make sure you're a member of the community first and foremost. Second thing is, well, yeah, before I get into my stuff, let's check in with Kevin. Kevin, how are you feeling, man? Welcome.
And I think this is the first day in the last 2 weeks. I think I can actually say positively, confidently, that I feel much better. I'm still going to be taking some medication over the next 2 days just to be safe. I still have some of my brothers still feeling ill around me. So I want to make sure that we keep that going, but I feel completely fine. If you've heard me in the past couple of spaces, like my voice was just completely gone. So I guess that's one way to start off the win. That's one win for the week is I'm feeling all better. This is the first day out of the year I would argue I'm feeling better, like through the holidays, through New Year's. It was just a mess. I know, Justin, you were going through it as well. Our good friend Ani, I know she's also, fallen completely ill. She's slowly healing as well. So it seems to be like passing through everybody, which is really unfortunate. But yeah, we've had some incredible wins as well pertaining to the topic as well, which I want to get into in terms of a client of mine, which Justin, I think you actually saw the post in the reference that I'm talking about with the price increase that one of my clients actually had offered just based off of results. So I want to talk a little bit about that a little more throughout the space and why it's important to really deliver on your skill set and its importance of maintaining retainers as well as for the cost and why it's so cost effective in that sense too. So yeah, again, good morning, Justin. Happy to see everybody as well. Just want to say hi to to a few people as well. Dan, very nice to see you. I feel like I haven't heard from you in a while, but always a pleasure to see you. Sydney just joined as well. I'm very happy to see you. And Vite's on, and there's a lot of new people up in the listener panel as well. So that's exciting. And do us the favor, guys. Just repost the space as well. I reposted it already. Let's try to get 5 reposts at bare minimum. Let's try to support Justin for his amazing cause. Because what he's doing here with his mission is absolutely cool. Back over to you, Justin. I see you got Andy as well. Perfect time.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Kevin. Glad you're feeling better. And yeah, I'm on like the last day of my antibiotics here. So yeah, feeling much better. I can't wait to get back to, my daily workout routines. You guys may or may not know, but for the past year and a few months, early on, in the beginning of last year, I was hosting a space while I was at the gym. Like you could hear me like huffing and puffing because I was on the bike, I was on the treadmill, I was on the Stairmaster, doing my cardio, and that was my daily routine, right? Host a space while I'm working out, multitasking and, adding value. But for the last few months, I haven't been able to do that because I've been ill. So, but yeah, great to have you aboard as always, Kevin. And just some opening thoughts before we go over to Andy. So, health is wealth, right? Health is wealth. And if you don't have your health, guys, everything else is going to be challenging. So, we work hard. We don't want to grind. We want to be in alignment. We want to be in flow. And, that's when we're most productive and profitable is when we're in that mindset of we're in the flow. We're being productive. We're being profitable. There's a lot of busy people in the world. Everyone's busy. But the true question is, are they productive? Are you being productive? Are you emphasizing revenue generating activities? That needs to be top of mind. So, 80% of success is just showing up. So the fact that you guys are here, that's 80% of it. The other 20% is execution. So thank you for being here. Please like and repost the space. We'd really appreciate it. And one of the challenges I see a lot of people making is they don't ask for the sale. Okay, this is a big one, right? They don't ask for the sale. So you do your presentation, you do your prospect call, you do your engagement, your interaction in the DMs, whatever it is, right? You build trust, you build a relationship, but then you don't ask for the sale. Okay, and so you need to get comfortable. Be very comfortable with the uncomfortable. Okay, become comfortable with the uncomfortable. Ask for the sale. And when they say no, okay, that just, in my mind, that means no, not right now. Okay, no to me means not right now. That's what that means to me. That may mean other things to other people. But my mindset is, look, no means not right now. Okay, no worries. Because why? Because they don't meet one of the four criteria. And we talked about it yesterday, and it's really important to remind everyone what those four criteria are. Number one, do they have budget? Number two, are they the right decision maker? Number three, is it the right timing for them? And number four, is it a solid offer? Is it a solid offer around a pain point? And notice I said pain point, not problem. So you really want to emphasize those four things. If you nail those four things with them, there's no reason why they should say no. And if they say no, great. Then no just means not right now. And then this is exactly what you say after they say no. You say, great. Can I follow up with you in a month or two to check in to see how your situation may have changed? Yes. Okay, great. So then you put it on your calendar as a follow-up or your CRM system to follow up with them. And then we're going to talk a little bit about today. So people versus managing projects. This is a big one because I'm going through it right now where I'm managing more people now. So, and I'm going to have a poll question for everyone in a second. Are you more comfortable managing people or projects? People or projects? Are you more comfortable managing people or projects? This is a big one. This is a really big one. And I'm re-listening to the 360-Degree Leader by John Maxwell. On CD actually. I posted a post about it yesterday. And so this is really important. If you want to be a good leader, you got to learn how to manage people. But before you can manage people, you got to manage yourself first. That was one of the key emphasis on the audio yesterday. It's like before you can manage people effectively, you got to manage yourself effectively. And this is really critical. If you don't have your stuff together, you can't expect your team to have their stuff together because you have to be the model, right? You have to be organized. You have to show up to meetings prepared. You have to have your talking points ready to go, right? You got to be dialed in. This is just the reality. So if you really want to, grow and scale, you got to be able to manage people. Managing projects are great. Yeah, I don't have to deal with people, but that's not the way you're going to scale. The reality is you got to be good with both. You got to know how to manage a project, and you have no better person on the stage than Andy. He's managed 4 billion in projects in his career. So you got to be able to manage projects and you have to be able to manage people at the same time. So before we get going a little bit more, I want to, let Andy do his quick intro and then we'll start getting into, would love to hear from everyone, get up here on stage, share your wins for the week. And then also, do you prefer managing people or projects? So Andy, welcome. Happy Friday.
Hi, Justin. Hi, everybody. Hey, Kevin and Cindy and Danielle and Devon. I don't feel like Romper Room doing every single name, but I do see you. Yes, thank you, Danielle, for the. By the way, whenever people do that, especially younger people, I think, oh, I see Billy and David and Johnny, and I'm like, oh God, please don't Romper Room me. That is me. Yes, you have no idea who that is, no idea what it is. Just Google search it and realize that's what we saw when we were kids. Okay, wins for the week. Each one of my newsletters is now self-sustaining and pays for itself. So each one now with ads and the process and structure I've been using for each one is now independently paying for itself. So that's awesome. That was my win for the week. As far as managing people or projects, a project is a temporary endeavor that produces a result. That's all a project is. Something temporary that produces a result. Okay. So a job that you have that you retire from is temporary. You work, you produce a result, you retire, temporary. If you get married, it's temporary. One of you is going to die, or both of you is going to die. It's going to end at some point. It's temporary, right? Your life is temporary. So to me, projects are temporary. Everything's temporary. Everything's a project. And the $4 billion is the actual projects that I build on, worked on. That's the total valuation of all the projects, not what I earned out of it. Please. I mean, for goodness sakes, I wish I was a billionaire. What's that?
Would you even be in the space if that were the case? Let's be honest with ourselves. If you earn $4 billion,
maybe, right? I mean, like, none of you know how much I make. None of you know pretty much. Well, you kind of know my lifestyle, but none of you know. You don't know if I make $1 million a year, if I make 10,000 a month. You don't know if I make 10,000 a day. You have no idea. So maybe I'd still be here. Maybe I'd be talking differently, but I don't make $4 billion a year, or even I haven't made $4 billion ever my whole lifetime, but I have made millions. So, make six figures long enough for more than 10 years. That's a million. Just, you can count, pretty sure, right? So just start thinking of it that way. So my wins for the week, each newsletter by itself, paying for itself and being profitable. Secondly, managing projects is managing people. There are no projects without people. It's impossible to have projects without people. And anybody tells you, "Oh, I'm solo," who told Cloud Code to write the code? Alex Finn runs his own amazing, awesome company. Very cool product, by the way. It's totally worth it. You should go get it. But he has people who help him. He has accountants that help him. He has his computer programming agents who help him. He doesn't do it by himself, doing everything alone. He's managing something, someone, somehow, some production. And everything is about people. There is not one business that there is in the world that doesn't result or exist because it benefits people. So it's all about the people. It's always managing people. Always. There is no exception. It is not possible. It's just not possible. If you write middleware software code that runs between this data system and that data system, and you think you're just the engineer that builds the interfaces, the XSLTs, or the whatever's on the universal serial bus that goes back and forth between the backend systems. The systems are used by people to do something that helps people or gets money from people. That's it. End of story. Period. Everything is about people. So, to answer your question, there are no projects without people. Everything's managing people. And projects are just tasks people do.
Yeah, and one of the realities you didn't mention, Andy, which is a reality we are all facing right now, is managing AI agents. Okay, so this is something that's going to be talked about more and more. And I know John Rush, he's on this platform here. He's on LinkedIn as well, and he's got, I don't know how many different startups he has, but he's running his team of 200 AI agents to help him run his startups, and he's a small team, like 3 or 4 people. So, this is a reality we all have to face. We're going to get more familiar with it, and we may even, some of us in the room may have already be managing AI agents at this point. So, and you can tell by the poll that I posted, and I highly encourage you guys to please take it. It's in the Jumbotron here. Would you rather lead projects or people? 83% of people, there's only been 6 votes so far, but 83% of people would rather manage projects than people, right? So there's something to be said there, a comfortability around managing people. And until you've, managed people extensively, right? Like you don't have that skill set. So I highly encourage everyone to develop their leadership skill sets and their people management skill sets because this is going to help you grow. Okay. This is going to help you grow. I'm going through it right now. I have a small team now. I'm managing projects, and even my business coach, Claude, has called me out because you know me, I tell my LLM to call me out, to tell me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear. And immediately it said, stop doing execution work. Don't do ads. Don't do campaign building, Justin. That's not where you need to be focused. Low leverage tasks like, ads, the team can handle that. I need to start focusing on these digital audits and converting those into retainers and proposals, and position as a fractional CMO, start converting those. So yeah, I'm going to be really focusing more on fractional CMO advisory, orchestrating and leading the team, and converting these audits to proposals and closing deals, and then have the team execute. So that's going to be my main focus moving forward. I mean, can I run ads? Absolutely. I've run over 1,000 of them. But is that the most efficient use of my time right now? No, no, that's not. So, and if we want to scale to, my goal is very clear, 25K a month by the end of Q1. That's my outcome. So I'm focused on that outcome. Nothing is going to stop me from getting to that outcome. And the only way I'm going to be able to do it is by having a team and then just making sure the margins are there, right? You got to structure margins into your deals, profit margins into your deals. So yeah, go ahead, Kevin, and then we'll go to Danielle.
Yeah, I mean, I've managed people before as well. I've been now solo for a little over 3 months as well. In the past, I've had a team of 3 other people, so 2 of them actually being from Portugal, and then another person from the States. So everything that we were doing was rather online. I've never met them in person. They were fantastic people, but I'm not a person. I learned this very quickly. Was not really too good at managing people myself. I just did not have really the capability, if I'm being honest, to really manage a lot of people in such a tight environment. So I ended up, reducing my team one at a time until I essentially became solo. And the only reason I was able to get to that was through the systems that I was able to build. And what I found was actually easier was systemizing projects that I actually had and was able to focus on. So that's how I learned that I'm actually much better at being able to focus on the projects and manage the projects so much more too. And even the clients who I work with, I'm really picky about who I work with. Typically, the people who are, first of all, high quality clients in terms of the amount that they're paying me, and that's important because I find the difference between a high paying client versus somebody who is lowballing me is that the high paying client will leave me alone for the most part. I had one guy I was working for. We didn't talk for 3 weeks. We planned, to have a call. Nothing was working out with his time because he was busy with other things. And then one time after 3 weeks, we were able to get on a call just to kind of see where we were at with the project and everything as well. And, everything was super fine because at the end of the day, he let me work and he let me do the project. And that was, something that I really, really appreciated. When you work with people like that, I mean, just everything is just so much more better for your system as well. So yeah, I definitely have experienced both. And I definitely see it around with people as well. I think people are just better managed with projects than they are with people. Wins for the week, though, I got a couple of those as well. So first things first, I managed to set up my first X advertisements. Actually, I got that set up yesterday with the help of Bonnie a little bit as well because I was having issues with setting that up. So she helped me with a couple of steps, but majority of the time I figured it out. Got a couple conversions. It's a simple lead magnet towards my newsletter. $5 a day I have it set up for, and we're already up 20 email subscribers within the span of like 16 hours. So the conversion's very, very good, right? If we're taking $5 a day, currently at 20, what is that? That's 25 cents per subscription as well. And the thing I love about X ads too is that it only takes the money out of your pocket per link click. Now that doesn't necessarily mean you'll get a subscriber, but it at least increases the chance rather than having it reliant on the impressions that it gets on an advertisement. So I really, really like that feature as well. So I set that up. I'll be kind of experimenting around a little bit more. Beehive is amazing because you can gate a lot of your newsletters. meaning people have to subscribe in order to get the information that you're promoting. And that's a really cool lead magnet. So that was the first thing. And then the second thing, I mentioned this earlier as well, but I've been sick for 2 weeks. Thankfully, we've been able to get past it. I'm feeling much, much better. You guys might be able to hear it in my voice. I've been through spaces all week, and my voice has just been gone. But I'm feeling fantastic. I'll probably still be taking medication for 2 to 3 more days just to make sure everything's okay. And then finally, and this was really, really exciting, with a client of mine, he reached out to me, and I actually made a post about this. I'll actually pin this to the top if you're okay with it, Justin, at least temporarily while I go on about explaining this. There we go. So I posted up in the Jumbotron. Essentially what happened was a client of mine came to me and said, hey, I want to pay you more. And I understood why almost immediately as to why he wanted to pay me more, because the results were there. He wanted to really retain me for the long run. Whether you put in the results, right? People are going to pay you based off of value. They're not going to pay you based off of price. Because I think once you start to really evaluate yourself based off of price and competing based off of price, I think that's when you're really going to lose people. Because at the end of the day, with the competitive market, it's never about how much is this problem going to cost me, or rather how much is this problem going to save me. And I think that's what this client was really doing as well. So if out of nowhere, we built the trust up there. He's literally paying me more for something I didn't ask for, just to keep on the retainer. So he knows that I will be sticking to the long run, because I think he knows that I will be charging more and maybe moving on to different things. But this way he's securing things. So to me, that's a win. That may not seem like a huge win to a lot of people, but to me, that just felt personally validating and felt like it was important to share. So that was really awesome. And I think that's it for the most part, Justin. It's been a really good week. Otherwise, of me being sick, yeah, it's just been a really, really good time. And yeah, just getting my newsletters going. I guess that's it. Over to you, Justin. Make sure you guys join the startup circle. I mean, we're growing fast. I think we went from 7.3 to 7.4 in the span of like a day and a half. Like, it blew up quick for whatever reason.
Yeah, good stuff, Kevin. And just to add a couple of good points you made. So, as you help clients make more money, like you will make more money. Okay. So, and as you help them save money, right? You'll make more money. You'll make them more money, right? So, one of the first things that I do, this is a pro tip for everyone, is the first thing I look at is their entire marketing tech stack, right? So I go through and I do an audit. I say, okay, these are all your monthly expenses for software tools and AI tools and all this stuff, right? So what are you really using to its full capability? And guess what? 90% of the time, they're not using the tool to its full capacity. So what do? We try to condense and consolidate the tech stack so that they can be more efficient, right? So right away, I'm already saving them money, number one. And then number two, after I conduct the audit, then we can come up with a plan to really stop doing things that aren't working and focus more on the things that are working as long as we can track them. And majority of the time for my niche is they don't have the proper tracking and reporting set up. So we got to do that from scratch and rebuild the engine is basically the metaphor I've been using. And yeah, and I just re-signed a client for another year on Google Ads. Why? Because they're generating, $40,000 a month and they're crushing it, right? And so that's just what happens when you get results, right? But it took me, months to dial that in. That didn't happen overnight. That took me about 4 to 6 months to dial in correctly on the phone with Google multiple times, 20 hours, 40 hours of work to get it to the point where now I only have to check in on the reporting, every, 1 or 2 hours a month. But most people, that's what it takes in the beginning. You got to do that heavy lifting up front to get it dialed in to the point where now it's just like I said, I'm checking in on the ads account, once or 1 or 2 hours a month. And it's going so good. Like I took my car in to get an alignment yesterday to my clients, right? And I was like, "Hey, what do I owe you guys?" And he's like, "Oh no, Justin, like you're good." So they're treating me right. They're taking care of me because they see the value that I'm bringing them, right? So it's a good relationship. So you always want to have clients that, you're helping And it's funny because we've been talking a lot about alignment. So it's like I have a chiropractor client, I got an auto shop client, aligned my car, got new tires, aligned my back for the chiropractor. I'm in alignment. So, it's all about alignment this year. So, Will's gonna love it. But yeah, the other point I want to make too, to Kevin's point, and then we'll get to these hands. So when people are not making time for you, that just means we're not a priority. And I say we. Okay, I'm not just saying you individually. I'm saying we. What this really means is, let me just, set the record straight. We're just not a priority. Okay? We're just not a priority. Don't take it personally. Everyone has priorities in life. When someone says, "Oh, I didn't have time" or whatever, that just means, "Oh, I'm not a priority to them." That's fine. That's completely fine. So just focus your attention and energy on other prospects who are going to give you the time, who are going to make you a priority, right? I had a prospect cancel on me yesterday. It happens. It happens. It's part of the game, right? It's part of the business game. And why do we end the week with wins for the week? Because majority of business is losses and lessons learned. Okay, there are no failures. There is absolutely zero failures here. There are losses and there are lessons learned. That's it. And there's wins, of course, right? So we always prioritize and focus on abundant thinking, which is wins, right? These small wins, these big wins, whatever they are, you focus on wins because majority of business is losses and lessons learned. That's the reality. And then the other thing, it's a probability game, right? So to Kevin's point, not every single click is going to lead to a conversion. It's a probability game, right? So to increase the probability of converting people, it's at the end of the day, it's just a numbers game. It's experimenting. And the greater the trust you have, the greater the conversion. And by adding value, by offering a lead magnet for free when they join your newsletter, that's incentivizing someone. Oh, yeah, I want to get this value. I want to get that. So put in your email. Great. Here you go. So, and $5 a day, I always teach that's the right amount per day to test with. Once the numbers start making sense, when you can spend $5 a day and acquire customers for very cheaply, very cost effectively, then you can start scaling it up from there. So that's always a test budget to start with is $5 a day. So, all right, let's go to Danielle. Danielle, welcome.
Good morning, TGIF people. I'm laughing because I got up this morning really early and I wanted to bang out something that kind of is along these lines. And so I am chairing a mentorship group for my commercial real estate women's here in Orange County. It's an international organization that I've been part of for a really long time. And so this year I'm like, okay, let me run with that. And I'm happy about it. But I haven't participated in the last couple of years for reasons we don't have to get into. But what's made very clear to me is that this particular committee or program within the larger group been just really difficult to manage and launch and curate for a whole host of reasons, one having to do with some budgetary restraints. But when I spoke to the women that were on this group for the past 2 years, they said, well, just getting the committee members together for a conversation, whether it be on Zoom or in person, was always like an impediment because everybody's busy. They have their professional lives and they have their personal lives, and a lot of them are raising smaller children. So I do have a very small committee, but I'm over here sending out an email early this morning, pretty much telling these ladies who have raised their hands, like, okay, here's the attachment, here's the schedule, here's the thing. And why? Because I don't want to manage this committee to get to the larger group in assigning mentors to mentees, because it's been proven that really is going to be the thing that stops us from launching within a couple of weeks. So is it bullish? Probably a little bit. I think more than anything, people will experience relief. They want to be aligned with this committee, and more importantly, this group. They want to be mentors to the women and young men within the larger organization, but they don't necessarily want to be getting a barrage of emails or like, okay, are you happy with this, Sally? Okay, Becky, do you want this flyer to look like this? These are BS conversations that just slow the roll. And we're talking in a voluntary capacity, not like a really project working thing. So, but that's what I'm doing. So I'm just kind of laughing. So I'm hoping they don't think I'm being bossy, although there's always that possibility. So, but managing people, I've never been a manager of people. I have managed sales groups within a company, but more in a coaching capacity. But that wasn't something. But honestly, I would lean towards, as much as I love people and I love working with people, and I see the value of not working in isolation like every day of the week. I'd rather manage projects, right? I mean, projects are just more predictable. People are not, and even their availability. But the sense of inclusion is really, really critical. So when you assign or align or delegate, if you don't include, you're really diminishing what what they brought or what they said they will bring to the table. For sure. So, for the most part, right now I'm a solopreneur. Right, I have just my daughter, because she's not because she's related, because she's so damn good at what she does. She picks up where I like leave off. She has skills I do not have, and I've shared this with on here, and I do, and I pay her because I throw things at her at all ungodly hours, and so I like the relationship because I like her availability and because she's been part of Unscripted Pivots for 3 years now. I mean, ever since it was just like, oh, a concept, a podcast. And so, but the wins for the week, something cool happened last night. So I got yet another call to speak somewhere from somebody I barely knew. And these are happening more and more. And I am eternally grateful for the opportunity. So this woman calls me and she said, hey, I was in the audience. You were speaking about your book about 2 months ago. And I had done a very quick 20-minute thing, part of a larger program. And so I didn't pay much attention to who was there or whatever. You don't get access to the audience. And it wasn't a big audience, maybe like, I don't know, 40 people and a small cocktail party. And so she said to me, would you come to LA and talk to the National Women in Construction? We have this annual week and we're like doing this luncheon. It's 2 hours and we have a panel and we'd like you to be on a panel. There's going to be 3 people. So she starts telling me a little bit about it. And I'm like, look, I'm not a woman in construction. And, you've got one person there for research, one for something else. So we start talking about it. She goes, I really want you to talk about the WTF book. So I went from like just talking about like being on a panel to then becoming the keynote. In our conversation, she's like, would you do the keynote? Now, guys, this is not a paid gig. They have this lunch to get money for scholarships, right? So, okay. So I said to her, I'm willing to do it because you're only asking me to do a keynote for 20 minutes and it's great publicity. And there's 210 people going. So we went from like that to she's buying the books for everybody that attends. Now that's a $4,000 lift on Amazon, buying those books, for that kind of people. So it was really exciting just to see that everybody there would get that. So that's the win, one of the wins for the week, and it just happened last night. So I continue to expand the visibility, and I'm grateful for just the branding. And I'm also grateful that she wants me to talk about WTF and not necessarily the pivot piece. There won't be enough time within the confines of when I'd get on stage, but I will get the spotlight. And I looked at I said, show me what your marketing is right now. And it is so A++. I was like, anytime I align with an organization that knows how to market and they can do such a polished way of doing it, sign me up. Sign me up. I know how they'll highlight. And so it's not a paid gig, but 210 people will get my book at their expense, and it's not inexpensive. So I'm down with it. And that's happening in a couple of weeks. So off we go. Yeah.
Yeah, congrats, Danielle. That's big. And yeah, I mean, people are starting to, know you, like you, and trust you even through other people, other referrals, and, that visibility part that you hit on. So yeah, congratulations on that. And yeah, everything needs to be weighed from a cost benefit analysis standpoint, right? So yes, it may not be a paid gig, but like you said, there's going to be additional benefits that are going to come out of it that are going to be more worthwhile as well, like the book sales, etc. So yeah, it's just we all have to weigh, our cost, do a cost benefit analysis. What is that? It's basically your time and the opportunity and calculating, hey, is this worth it or not, right? Is this going to be worth the revenue in the long run? It may come short term, it may come long term, midterm, long term. It just depends, but always do some sort of cost benefit analysis on your time and weigh it versus the opportunity. I did a lot of these in college, so I mean, it becomes second nature to me. And now with AI, like just, hey, I want to conduct a cost benefit analysis. Here's the situation. Okay, great. Well, based on your hourly rate, Justin, I would do this, or no, that this is gonna time suck you. This is not a good use of your time. So, just, adjust accordingly. So I'll always do the cost benefit analysis. So, and welcome to the stage, Marianne. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. A good friend of the startup circle. And yeah, great to have you here. Yeah, go ahead, Marianne. Welcome. How's it going? Happy New Year.
Justin, happy New Year to you too. I'm happy to be here, and um, thank you for hosting the space. It's been a while since we've last spoken, but I've been reconnecting with the rest of the crew, like Andy and Kevin, for quite some time now, and hopefully we'll be back with something cool soon. I really wanted to say, because I've joined a little late, but Danielle, I really love what you were saying. I really love everything that you've said about how women are in business, and I would love to connect with you further. And I'd love to connect with every single person here, to be honest. Any person who cares about spending hours of their day talking about sales and marketing and how to improve. I think these people are people I would definitely want to be around and connect with, because this is one of these are two of the most important things to focus on right now in the age of AI, because right now is an age where anybody can build anything that they want pretty easily. So the only competitive advantage is going to be sales and marketing and distribution in general. So at my company, we're always actively doing a lot of marketing. We heavily rely on the founder funnel of founder-led marketing, which is on my X account. And we've been growing our sales team for quite some time. And honestly, every single person on the sales team, so this is a little piece of advice, every single person on the sales team we've been onboarding has been growing their personal brand on X for quite some time. And they were able to bring in leads super quickly because they had a lot of trust, credibility, and they were able to rely on their warm connections first. And so this has been a great advantage. It made everything super quick. So my piece of advice, I'm still definitely learning. I'm not perfect. I will never be. But when it comes to growing a sales team, I think getting people who already are familiar with the industry that you're in, who already have credibility and connections, would make things extremely quicker for you than just getting somebody who is completely new. I mean, both could work, but this is like my personal experience. So that is my 2 cents.
Yeah, thank you, Marianne. Yeah, wealth of knowledge. Make sure you guys are following Marianne. She's a great businesswoman, leader of communities and community builder. And yeah, you hit the nail on the head. The every single company that wants to be in business and a sustainable business will have some sort of founder-led strategy when it comes to social media. This is a game changer for them. So, and it continues to be a trend. So, and even you know, I've seen it happening too. So the AI content that's being pushed out there, some of it is getting removed and deboosted. So what does this mean? Well, we have to be real, authentic people on the camera now and incorporate some AI into it. It can't just be all AI. It's going to get deboosted, demonetized potentially. And so these are things to think about. So the more authentic you can be, the more genuine you can be with your content. And the formula is very simple. Visibility plus credibility equals profitability. So, but yeah, to Marianne's point, just make sure you guys always have a founder-led strategy, because that can really accelerate trust much quicker when it comes to the sales side and business development. So, yeah, good stuff, Marianne. Thanks for tapping in. Always great to see you. And yeah, let's go to Cindy, and then we'll go to Drac, and then we'd love to hear from Timo as well. So if you guys can just keep it to like 3 minutes max, would really appreciate it, just so we can get to everyone. It's a full house today, so we're going to be going till 8, and I have to grab my laptop charger because my laptop's about to die. So but yeah, let's go over to Cindy. Cindy, welcome. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I think Drac was before me, so go ahead, Drac. I'll come after you. Thank you.
Oh, after you. Go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here today. I personally, I've always been managing projects instead of people. I have managed people in the past, but my preference is managing projects. But projects and people go hand in hand, in my opinion. I like to work on projects with people. I think when you can bring in common or just different perspectives from different people, I think the projects end up working out better. My wins for the week are that I've actually had a setback. My mom is in the hospital. She's got some fluid around the lungs with pneumonia. Super flu is going around big time. The flu vaccine has not worked. I don't know if any of you are aware of that, but my entire family had gotten the flu, and unfortunately, her flu turned into pneumonia with some fluid around the lungs. So she's in a cardiology department. So that was kind of a setback. I'm heading to the hospital soon. But I have to say that my wins for the week are I have been able to jump on spaces, and the quality of people that I've come into contact with for just building relationships and for the future have been really a win, in my opinion. I've met so many great people, and I'm really, really grateful for that. So I'm trying. I have been feeling a little overwhelmed because I have so many different things coming in my direction. We're ready to launch a project, so that's busy in itself. But I'm also trying to get things together so I can build my brand. I've written some stuff. I haven't published it. I haven't done my newsletter. I feel like I keep saying I'm going to do this, but I have had so many different things come up in the past week. But hopefully going into next week, I can sit down. I can really get focused and do the things that are on my to-do list. I have a to-do list. It's pretty long, but you can only do so much in a day. And, I don't want to beat myself up on it. I just want to do things the right way, and just that's all I can do is just press on and do the best I can every day. So anyway, I thank you all. I'm glad, Kevin, I'm glad you guys are all feeling better. I know it stinks when you're sick. You just can't be your normal self, and it's hard because you want to be. So I'm glad you all are on the mends, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Continue to get better, and thanks for having me. I'm going to step down because I'm heading out soon, but thank you for having me, and have a great weekend.
Yeah, thank you, Cindy. Prayers for your mom, and yeah, thanks for tapping in here. And yeah, so one of the things, this is a pro tip for everyone, is we have our to-do lists, but as important is our not to-do lists, right? So make sure you have a list of both, right? Like, hey, I'm not doing these things anymore, but I'm gonna do these things, and just, crawl, walk, run, right? Crawl, walk, run is it's always a progression. And, as you tackle more things, ideally, you want to tackle things that are closest to revenue, but make sure you get those foundations dialed in first, right? Get those foundations dialed in first. Absolutely critical. What are the foundations? Hey, your newsletter, right? So you're building your email list, and you can continue to scale, and you're just feeding it content regularly. And then also, separate things into, like I mentioned, I need to do these things. I don't need to do these things anymore. Or can I delegate these things? Yeah, go ahead. Jump in, Cindy.
Oh no, I like what you're saying. I just I wanted to congratulate Danielle on her wins this week. I think that's awesome. And I did look at your book. I think it's definitely something that I want to order and add to my arsenal. I have about 4 books ahead of me or ahead of it, but I definitely want to read it. So congrats, and I hope everything goes well for you, Danielle. Thank you.
Yeah, Cindy's a gem. If you haven't connected with Cindy, guys, she's an absolute gem. So make sure you guys are following her. She's big on spaces, a lot of wisdom to share. Has a lot of experience developing products. She's working on this fitness product that she's launching this year. So yeah, just make sure you follow her. And she's in Tampa, Florida, one of my favorite places. So, so awesome. Great. Well, yeah, let's go. Thank you so much, Cindy. Again, have a great weekend. Thanks for checking in as always, and thanks for being a Ronin. Really appreciate the support, and what we're building here, the Ronin movement. So I see a lot of Ronins on stage. So, so thank you guys for the support. Okay, let's go over to Drac, and then we'll go to Tebow, and then we'll go to Will. And yeah, if we can just keep it to like 3 minutes, really appreciate it, guys, and just so we can get to everyone. Okay, thanks, Drac. Over to you.
Hey, for sure, man. I'll keep it tight. Danielle, great, good on you. Congrats on the lift. All I would have to say is it wasn't a paid gig, but it had a payoff. pays it over in spades. So congrats on all that. Cindy and Maria, thanks for coming up too. I enjoyed what you had to say. I was just coming up to share my wins for the week, I guess, kind of do that thing and add some of my experience from the week to the conversation. Yesterday I had a meeting with a blue chip NFT company, or project, I should say, one that you would all know, who's interested in tech that we're bringing to the market. And it went extremely well, and they rebooked for another meeting today to dive deeper into the details around potential partnership on some really great tech that we're bringing to market. So that's really exciting. Nothing's firm. Deals are fragile until they're not, and it is what it is. So we're pushing hard today. That's kind of my major win for the week. Other than I stuck to my guns. I made a plan for this week. I had 5 days scheduled out. I stuck to it. I nailed all of my goals. Everything went swimmingly, and then we had this extra thing come up where this blue chip company is calling me and my team to discuss the potentials for this really cool stuff in the future. So all of that to say, just love this group, guys. I'm really enjoying participating, and I'm enjoying all the speakers. Justin, thanks for having me up and letting me participate. Will, thank you, dude. So what's my time? Yeah, I'm under my 3 minutes. Hold on. Will, I'm going to throw you some flowers, dude. You unstuck me, man. I've been doing spaces and everything for a long time. I've been working in tech a long time. I was never stuck before. I went through some insane stuff in my life, not getting into it, knocked me off the rails. Will, you absolutely helped me unstick in a lot of ways. I've never been generating content as much as I am now. I have felt more confident before, but I feel it coming back, which you and I spoke about in our private call. So thank you for that, man. And I feel inspired and creative, and I feel that resonating through my community just at a glance. I can see it's having an effect in a positive way. And so good on everybody here. Love the mindset in this group. And so thank yous. And under my 3 minutes, I'm out.
Yeah, thanks, Drac. Good stuff. I was thinking about you too because I was reading a Substack article on fractional life, and so I was like, "Oh, Drac would love this one." So I may DM it to you just for some additional wisdom there. So okay, cool, awesome, and yeah, good stuff on the win. And look, I don't count deals closed until money hits the bank account, and so that's you gotta plan accordingly, right? It's deals never close completely until the money comes into the bank account. So
For lack of better terms, if art and wind can knock them over sometimes. That's just the way that it is. You can never bank on it until it's signed, sealed, delivered. But when you've been doing it a long time and you've knocked the pins down over and over and over again, this one feels familiar. Is all I'm going to say. So it's managed expectations with a feeling of familiarity and recognizing, I think, is where, like, today my confidence is going to stem from. It's going to be, no, I've been here before and I've closed here before. So I'm excited.
I love it. Well, I want to let and hopefully Timo doesn't mind, but I want to let Will jump in to respond to you as well because you had a great comment for him. So okay, I'm getting a thumbs up from Timo, so I got the approval. So yeah, go ahead, jump in here, Will, and then yeah, feel free to share your wins as well, and then we'll go to Timo and Dan.
Well, thank you very much. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Amazing. Well, first things first, Drac, that's awesome to hear, man. That's awesome to hear that you're reclaiming you, and it's amazing to see. So yeah, amazing stuff. My wins for the week. It's been a great week this week. We're back on Spaces. We had a great space on Wednesday with Anthony in the Startup Circle, which was amazing. Great to be back for season 2 of the Internal Game. Another big win for this week was I had a business review with a mentor of mine earlier this week, and we unlocked another level to the Unshakable Execution System, which is closing probably one of the biggest blind spots that I had. So we're making it even better. And yeah, the projections look amazing for how that's actually going to play out and save people. To speak on the topic of the space and do managing people on Magic Products, the irony here is so good because my wife and I were talking about this morning. She is a head of for a pharmaceutical company, and she does not like line management. She likes project and data management. And we were actually having a very similar conversation to what Andy was saying earlier on. And I was like, well, I said to her, well, look, you can't manage projects without managing the people who do the projects, right? And yeah, it's just great case of timing that came up this morning. But for me, I am a people person. And at this point in my life, I am exclusively dealing with people and not projects except for my own, which is a first. So at the moment, I help people with their mindset, I help people with their confidence, but more than that, I help people with their execution. So they have the projects and I help them show up to the projects powerfully. So I'm on the people side of things on this side.
Yeah, if you love people, you will love sales. So if you love people, you will love sales. And there's a different shift though from to Will's point. There's a big shift that happens when you have to manage team members versus managing prospects and doing business development. Completely different discipline. Completely different, right? So you can be really good at sales and developing relationships and rapport and being relatable with people, but then you can be not so good at managing people on a team, leading a project that needs to get deliverables for clients. Two completely different disciplines, completely different. So the advice that I have for everyone is first and foremost, you got to be able to sell yourself. Before you can sell anything else, any widget, any product, any service, you have to be able to sell yourself. This is how I landed 400 clients in my IT business and did $1 million in 5 years. I was selling myself, right? So I sold myself, and then I got in the door, and then I upsold them everything else. So the point is, you got to learn how to sell yourself first, and then you can work to sell your products and services. And then when you have enough work, then you can have a team that you manage and you lead to help execute the products or projects. That's how you scale. That's how you grow. That's how I'm doing it right now. And yeah, so yeah, good stuff, Will. Hopefully you liked the video shout out I gave you, and I tagged you in the.
I did, and I caught your declaration in the wild as well, Justin. Putting your daily declaration out there, and I was like, yes, I love to see it. Nothing more powerful you can do first thing in the morning than choose who you are going to be that day. So yeah, absolutely love it.
Amazing. Well, thanks so much, Will, for being here, and congrats on the wins for this week. And yeah, this is a great community, guys. We got about 20 minutes left, so plan accordingly. If you want to come up and share, just keep it to like 2 to 3 minutes max. I want to make sure we get everyone to contribute to the conversation, share their wins for the week and what they prefer more, managing people or projects. But yeah, if you're not following Will, guys, make sure you do. He's got a great community called the Unshakable Entrepreneurs that he's growing and nurturing, and yeah, it's going well. So all right, let's go over to Timo, and then we'll go to Dan Ryan, the very first Ronin, Dan Ryan. So okay, Timo, over to you.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. So the wins for the week, it's going to be a fast one because it's like -20 outside, and my phone is going to die, my fingers are going to freeze. So big win. Had a little hiccup with the newsletter. Thanks, Kevin, for helping me out with the ticket. Mainly the wording. So everything is cool now. We're back in business. And another thing is that I have my entire Q1 now pretty much planned as for the articles. So now it's just about writing them and scheduling them and whatnot. So I'm already a week ahead again, so the goal is to be at least a couple of weeks ahead. And I'm doing some testing, like Justin always says, keep testing. I went through the Beehive 2025 report with like some ridiculous 28 billion emails, analytics article, and picked up some tidbits from there. New sending time. Let's see how that goes. New automations kicking out on inactives again. And everything is cool. And for Justin, if your VA doesn't have time, your page is running smoothly again, which is another win. And if you need, everyone be aware. As far as I remember, this morning the old pricing was up there, but if you want, I can change the pricing for you. If you want to just let me know what those are, send me a DM or preferably maybe email, and I'll switch them up. So if you are planning to get into the revenue Ronin, do it now, because the price hike is gonna happen today, most likely. So yeah, it was good to see Marianne, and yeah, now my fingers are dead, so I'll click the mic if it works anymore, and just keep on listening. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Timo. So there's really three disciplines that we focus on in the Revenue Ronin community, and hopefully the startup circle, I'm sure they would agree. It's discipline, data, results. That's the ethos. Discipline, data, and results. So the good thing about data is data doesn't have emotions, right? People have emotions. So when we look and analyze data, right, like Timo said, we're always testing and we're always looking at the data because we're data-driven marketers. We make decisions based on data because data does not have emotions. So make sure if you're not making data-driven decisions, you have some opportunities to improve. And one thing about data too is, you can get into, projections and predictability looking at data with pattern recognition. We talked a little bit about it, but the point is revenue going up or is revenue going down? I mean, you don't have to make it more complicated than that, right? But there's all these other things that go into leading up to revenue, right? So just make sure you're reverse engineering your campaigns, your launches, your newsletter, subscriptions, lead magnets, etc. Just make sure you're reverse engineering solutions that can help you get to a predictable, sustainable growth. That's what you want. Every single business. And what do investors look for? They look for that hockey stick growth, right? That's what they want. They want that hockey stick growth. That's what they look for. They look at revenue growth and they look at sustainable growth. That's a business. So whatever you can do as far as your numbers go to pay attention to, as long as you're growing your subscribers affordably, organically, ideally, but if you have to invest, $1 or $2 per email subscriber, that's pretty good. But here's some general math to keep in mind as well. You should be making $1 per email subscriber per month, right? So if I have 1,000 email subscribers, I should be making at least $1,000 per month. That's the baseline. And if you're not there yet, then you got some work to do. But those are the numbers, right? Again, if you have 1,000 email subscribers, you should be making that email list ideally should be bringing in $1,000 per month. That's $1 per email subscriber. That's what you want. That's your goal. That's your outcome that you're looking to hit. And I know some people on the stage are already there. So, which is, a great accomplishment that they've been able, but they've been putting in the work. They've been doing the work. So, okay, great. Well, let's go over to Dan Ryan and welcome Ani to the stage. I hope you're feeling okay. Yeah, the cold is going around. So, but great to have you on stage, Ani, as always. All right, Dan, over to you, man. Welcome. Happy Friday.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you're good. You're audible.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the space, Justin. I've really been enjoying it, and I wanted to come up and share a little bit about my background because, pardon me, managing people is very much my wheelhouse and my experience. But it's been in the corporate environment, right? But for decades, I basically managed a couple layers of managers. So it's very rewarding. There's, it's also very much an opportunity to build your communication skills, your listening skills, to hold people accountable, to set goals with them, and to understand how they think and to tailor your coaching to them. But also, I wanted to speak to something that you mentioned earlier, which is it's a very different I'm sure there's some overlap, but it's a very different skill set than selling yourself. And I'll say one of my small wins this week is I feel good about a video I shared yesterday, which was just kind of an update on this transition because I was laid off recently from this job I held for a long time. And it's, for me, I've needed to contemplate a bit how I want to position myself and move forward. And I'm feeling better about that every day. I'm also I won't go into my little wins, but I've made a lot of progress on my projects in the last week or so. But I also agree with some of the comments I read earlier, like people and projects. If you're managing people, most likely you're working on a project. And it's a really exciting time right now because we have people, we have projects, we have AI. And when we can bring all of those things together, we have a tremendous opportunity to accelerate and amplify what we're doing. But it's tricky. And it requires bringing a lot of different skill sets together. Some of those I'm working on, and some of the, being really savvy in the social media environment and on the internet with capturing attention. There's all these different elements that come together. So I'm happy to learn about them from you guys. Anyway, thanks for having me up.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. Your confidence has improved significantly over the last few months. So I just want to acknowledge you for that and on your journey. And yeah, the reality is the layers are disappearing. The hierarchical structures in corporate, they're disappearing. Okay. So I used to have, as an example, a team of 8 people as a CMO. Now, I'm working fine with just 3 people. So the reality is, with thanks to AI, we don't need as many people. That's just the reality we have to come to grips with. Now, um, is it going to be challenging? Like Dan said, absolutely. But one of the things, here's some 2 pro tips for everyone. 2 pro tips. Number one is accountability. You mentioned it, Dan. So make sure you're clear with your team on the projects of who's accountable for what and hold them accountable. Okay. And if they're not performing, and make sure you QC the work, right? Quality control. The AI gets it to like 90, 95%. You still need that 5% trust and verify, in my experience. Even with Claude, I use Claude, it's the best. It still hallucinates. Even after I've been using it for over a year, it still hallucinates. I have to tell it, don't use this word. I told you not to use this word, right? And this is Claude. This is the top one that I use, and I still have to remind it. So, accountability is a big one, and then also the weekly.
Real quick on the AI stuff.
Yeah.
The reason that it resets every 24 hours to its base programming. So when you start over, you have to re-enable whatever your role definition is. So every 24 hours, it goes, oh, okay, back to the system prompt. So that's it.
Well, no, this is even in projects. No, that's different. I'm talking about specifically projects that I've developed with knowledge bases.
Project is a set of information that goes to the LLM engine, and the LLM engine then responds back with the results. The LLM engine resets its basic system program set instructions every 24 hours.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm not happy with having to reiterate to my LLM, even in project mode, with all the knowledge base that I've fed it, to don't mention this thing. So that's what really bugs me. So, but yeah, I mean, it's not, to your point, it's not 100%, which is why we need to QC, right? We need quality control as part of the process. So, and then the other thing I was going to say is do your weekly check-ins, right? Weekly check-ins on projects. Don't let a project go so long because you want to make sure people are going in the right direction enthusiastically, the right direction. Okay, you see it all the time. Some people, if you don't have good leadership, the project will be going down the wrong path enthusiastically, and you're like, "Whoa, I got to get it back on track here, guys." No, that's not what we wanted. That's not what we needed, and that falls on the leadership, team, myself, right? So just be sure that you're very clear about who's responsible for what, the deliverables, and then holding them to account and it's really important. So, and you can do that with, grace. You can do that with, but in my experience, you want to be very clear with your communication, and over communicating is always better than under communicating. I would much rather work with people that over communicate than under communicate. Why? Because when you under communicate, you have issues. That's just how it is. So, um, okay, let's jump over. We got 8 minutes left here, guys. We got a hard stop at 8, so I want to get to Famous, and then we'll go to Timo, and then we'll go to final word with Andy and Kevin. So, a couple minutes here, Famous. Man, good to see you. Happy Friday, man. Hope you're doing well. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, Justin, Kevin, Andy, everybody. I'll keep it real brief. My win was I woke up. I woke up a day after completing one man 24-hour marathon number 55. I have been, it's funny when the serendipity, whatever the word is, I come here and you're talking about make data-driven decisions and leadership, and you just, the title says managing, but you just said a key word for me, Justin, leadership. We as military officers, we were like just really schooled and continually reminded, never just striving towards what is this and how do you master it? And I by nature, I just lean towards, just for me personally, my taste, I am down with leading. I like leadership. I don't, the idea of managing anybody appeals to me a little bit less. It's just a personal thing, a peccadillo, if we may. But yeah, that's it for me. So thanks very much. Thank you for all your support during my year. Let's rock and roll in 2026, everybody. And I will dip and cede the microphone. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you, Famous. Yeah, hopefully you received my gift in December, a little homage to you and all the work you're doing. So yeah, keep it up, and yeah, always a pleasure to have you in the space, Famous. You're a true leader on this platform, and so thank you for your leadership and modeling the way, and raising the bar for everyone to level up, myself included. You're a huge inspiration for humanity globally, and you offer a family friendly 24-hour space, which is an amazing atmosphere for a lot of us. So thank you, and it's going to continue to grow because of what you're building and the brand you're building and the work that you're doing. So yeah, keep it up, Famous. Always great to see you. On the fact that you woke up, yeah, that resonates with me, Famous, because on Saturday I had a episode. I ended up in the ER with my heart this past Saturday. And I had a SVT episode, which is a supraventricular tachycardia. My heart was going 220 beats a minute. I had my wife drive me to the hospital. I couldn't make it to my normal Kaiser, but I had to go to the ER close to my house. And fortunately, they were able to bring my heart rate down after 2 doses of this whatever liquid, and reset my heart. So they didn't have to shock me, thank God. That was the next step, but they were able to to get my heart back into normal rhythm. And yeah, it's because of, you guys know I've been, pretty hard on things for the last year. And I've been sick for on and off for the last 2 months. And so it finally caught up with me, and that was my wake up call that, hey, Justin, time to slow down, right? Time to realign, reprioritize. And so, yeah, that really resonated with me, Famous. So thank you, man. Great to have you here. It's life is very precious, and we're all making our moves, we're building, but health is wealth number one. So if we can't take care of ourselves, then we can't help others. So thank you for what you do, Famous. Always pleasure to hear from you. Let's jump over to Timo, and then we'll go to final word here. Okay, thanks, guys. Timo.
Yeah, just a happy Friday and weekend to everyone here. Justin, I think in projects, if your singular chat goes like right to the edge of the context window, it starts going crazy. But I haven't had any hallucination problems when I have the instructions on the instruction thing, and project knowledge base has all the documentation that it requires, so that has enabled me to avoid certain words, have enabled me not to be The text doesn't have a lot of repetition and all that stuff. But yeah, just play around with it. But the hallucinations usually happen when you're reaching the end of context window, not any timely manner. Small PSA, I'll be off from X until next Monday, so I wish everyone has a great weekend on this platform, whatever you're doing. So have a good one, guys. See you around on Monday.
Yeah, thanks, Timo. Yeah, have a great weekend, man. Take some offline time and enjoy the family time, whatever you guys got going on. So awesome. Well, hey guys, we're gonna go to final word now. I appreciate everyone. So we'll do final word with Andy and then Kevin, and then I'll sign us off. Okay, thanks, guys.
That means I should hit unmute. Okay. Wins for the week. My newsletters are profitable, so that's woohoo. And thank you for everyone who came up and spoke, who grabbed the mic, Cindy and Ani and Yvonne and everyone, and really appreciate everybody. And it's really nice to see Marianne. Another quick win for the week. I have people asking me in the back channel to help with them on other things. And when those things turn into, real money, whatever, I'll celebrate those. But hey, progress is people asking you, right? If you want to make money, I heard Myron Golden say this yesterday. You tell people what you do until they ask you. And if they don't ask you, tell them something else until they start asking you, hey, can you help me with that? Just like Danielle. She went and did a speech. Somebody else was listening and said, okay, cool. Now can you come do it for us? That's the way it goes. Do your thing, make it happen. Most of the time, you try, you fail, nothing happens. You try, you fail, nothing happens. But what's really happening is you're learning in the background. So never, ever, ever give up. Always do the right thing.
Learn and then drop the L and earn. Oh yeah, go ahead, Kevin. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Yeah, thank you, Andy, for that. Kevin, over to you.
Thank you, Justin, for this amazing space, another incredible space. If you guys aren't part of the Startup Circle, make sure you guys go join it. If you're entrepreneurial minded, if you're innovative, if you're somebody who's looking to build something for themselves, or if you're just somebody who's community oriented, we have some incredible people on here amongst the speaker panels who are, hosting spaces daily, or people who are just super involved in the community. These guys are teaching, some of the greatest masterminds here. Justin being a prime example in this very space about how to, build a business or sales and marketing, and just these incredible people on here as well. Again, wins for the week as well. I set up my first ever X ad. So that was really fun. And I'm going to be setting up a couple more as well. So that's exciting. A lot of clients as well. And praise God, we're finally healed from this amazing sickness, thankfully. Justin, I had no idea that you went through that this week, so I'm hoping you're okay. Kind of freaking out on a bit of coffee myself. Got the jitters here, taking it a bit too much, but it's going to be okay. But overall, it's been fantastic. Thank you guys so much. And please take care. Touch some grass over the weekends, or if you're going to double down on the work, and take it seriously. But otherwise, I'll see you guys around. Take care. Over to you, Justin.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, don't take life so serious. No one gets out alive. So, we got to laugh a little bit, right? Which, Famous has a great space. You catch some laughs in there for sure. Ani hosts some great spaces with Christelle, always some good laughs there. So, yeah, it's like, this is a very serious space here. This is kind of how I run it. But at the same time, you know, life, no one gets out alive. We gotta make time for laughing, for crying, for celebrating, all those emotions we gotta experience as humans, right? We're humans. So yeah, I just appreciate everyone. Final words here. So progress over perfection. Progress over perfection. This is one of my favorite quotes. It was so good I printed it on a shirt and I wear it around, and people love it. And it's a great concept because we're always progressing. That's the thing with sales and marketing mastery. I've been doing this for 25 years. I'm still progressing. I'm still, trying to become, you know, increase my level of mastery of sales and marketing because we can always do more, we can always be more, we can always learn more. And that's just my nature. So progress over perfection, and then learn it, do it, and then delegate it if you have budget. Learn it, do it, delegate it if you have budget. If you don't have budget, then you have to do what's called sweat equity, and you have to do it yourself. There's plenty of how-to guides, and just, make sure you understand, like, what is my time worth? Is it worth it to have Ani help me with my newsletter or not? Is it worth it to have Ani help me with my paid ads or not? Right? These are the things that are going through my head because, again, I got to focus on my lane, my zone of genius. And so you got to ask yourself these questions, right? So learn it, do it, delegate it if you have budget. If not, then build some sweat equity and do it yourself. Bootstrap mentality, bootstrap mentality. So if you don't know what that is, look it up. But entrepreneurs, they have this bootstrap mentality where they don't want to get funding from venture capitalists, so they want to bootstrap it on their own. So I've always had that bootstrap. I bootstrapped my way through business school. I had zero debt when I graduated. Why? Because I paid for school as I was running my company, and was very fortunate to be able to be in that position. But I worked hard. I was working 60 hours a week to go to school and go and work full time, run my company while I was going to school. So it took me 10 years, but I did it, right? I did it. I accomplished it. So accomplished my outcome. And I'm glad I did it because I learned so much in business school that just helped me, level up. And then the last thing is, yeah, we're breathing and we're billing. We're breathing and we're billing, and it's a good day, as Andy said. He's not here anymore. But okay, guys, well, at the end of our lives, we'll ask ourselves four simple questions. Did I live? Did I love? Did I matter? And did I make a difference? Until next time, keep making a difference. Build that mind, build that body, build that business, build that bank account, but most importantly, build that legacy. So stay hungry and stay humble. We'll see you guys at the top. And if you want to keep growing, check out the Revenue Ronin community. Prices went up, but invest in yourself now. It's just going to keep getting more expensive. Why? Because it's called basic economics. It's supply and demand. Supply of my time is shrinking. Demand of my time is increasing. It's very basic. So just get in now at these low rates. Otherwise, you may miss out. So because we're growing, the mission is very clear. 1,000 Ronins focused all on sales and marketing mastery. The community we're building together in public, and we've been on this journey for 2 years. And this is year three. We're starting year three of my 5-year plan. So stick with us, guys, and make it a productive, but most importantly, profitable day. Have a great weekend. Touch some grass, touch some snow if you're in Timo's position. And yeah, we'll see you back on Monday for Momentum Monday, not motivation. Momentum Monday, 6:45 a.m. Pacific. All right, much love, guys.